Good morning. It's a lovely sunny morning, and although it's winter, it's never too early in the season to protect your face from the ravages of the sun. I'm down near the pond because it's time to say goodbye to this almost, but not quite, dead acacia tree. I might be inclined to leave it, except for the fact that, as with other trees, it's now dangerously close to what will be our wood store, which is coming on even though it might not seem it. So yes, time to take it down. It's also a good opportunity whilst I'm having bonfires, because as you can see, it's very what I call branchy, and we won't keep those, so I'll burn those. Did you see that? I don't know if you can. It's like we skipped spring and gone straight to summer, because that is the first swallow. Well, that was the first swallow. It's sort of flying around over there, but obviously it's fast and small, and you might not be able to see it. There he goes. Oh, it's so fast. There it went. They're recceing for potential nesting sites. The problem that we have here is that the currawongs that stay here go for the nests. So we had a nest behind our bed, up in the eaves of our roof, and it was lovely. But one morning a currawong came along and pecked it off, dropped on the ground, and that was that. They flew away. So anyway, as I say, we're currently still in winter, but we've seemingly have skipped spring and gone straight to summer. So yes, lovely sight, and actually it's a lovely sound too. You sort of hear them screeching about, hence their UK common name of screechers in some places. Anyway, that's a nice sight. There it goes. Aside from the swallows, one of the reasons I'm down here is because I want to attempt to switch out this strimmer cord for the blade. It says in the manual that this is excellent for sort of normal grass, and actually also it's excellent for more woody things. I found like the relatively young tea tree, but what I want to have a go at this afternoon is some of the really thick sort of campusy type grass. I thought I'd have a go on the path up to the gate that we created a few weeks ago, just to try it out on that. So yeah, what I need to try and work out now is how to swap out this for the blade, and I think I might also investigate other types of blades, because chopping through the woody tea tree is definitely one of the things I'd like to be able to do with this. And so whilst I can do smaller bits of this, I would like to investigate what options there are out there for bigger stuff. I saw a guy on YouTube who was using the same machine, his Husqvarna Brushcutter, to take out small trees. So it obviously is possible to munch through quite substantial material. So I'll do a bit of research. But yeah, so now I'm going to try and see if I can swap this out. Just a bit of a heads up, I'm hopeless at this kind of thing. I don't know if I'll be able to figure it out. If you see Will down here shortly, don't be surprised. So this is what I'm dealing with. This is the blade. These are bits and bobs. See what I mean though? Like, what? It's just flown in. Can you see it? I'm imagining the first thing I need to do is take this off, and I'm assuming this is how I do it. So I've got this and this, so it's probably one of those. Well, that didn't quite go how I expected it to go, but as you can see, the blade is on. Will did indeed have to come and help me in the end because I couldn't work it out. This was a red herring. This is something to do with where you put lard or whatever, I don't know. There's like a little hole up here that you have to put this tool into. Anyway, there's an excellent, very easy video on YouTube that explains how to switch them over, and I'll put a link to that because they can explain it much better than I can. Anyway, so we're good to go, I hope. If you never see me again, it's because this blade came off and whipped my feet off and then I bled to death. But if that doesn't happen, what I am going to do now is take this up to the new bridge and then beyond to try and take down some of that stubborn grass. So let's see how we go. This is what I'm talking about, this sort of thicky, strappy, quite tough grass. There's not a lot of it, that's ideal. I'm just wanting to test it out. So I'll just try and strib my way through some of these tufts and see what happens. Here we go then. So that was a piece of cake. It absolutely tore through this stuff, which up until now I've only been able to trim manually. So what I would have to do is grab a clump of it and snip away at it with my secateurs, which I had to do in places where it was encroaching on paths, but you know, like this, I would just have to leave it. Now, I can just go and it'll be gone. So this is much nicer. Look, we've actually, for the first time in a long time, got a proper delineated path to our gate, to our neighbours, which, as I say, Will sometimes uses when he does a little bit of extra work for them. Looking back down, you can possibly make out just how much that generated. That blob there's the wheelbarrow. And then I was having so much fun, I carried on and removed a little bit of the tussocky grass up closer to the house, which is another good thing. Rather than just focusing on these far-flung places, I do actually have quite a lot of this stuff nearer to the house, which is worse, as you can see. That was a lot, and that was absolutely no effort. So I'm chuffed with that. I'm going to tidy this away, and then I might just give you a little bit of more information about the machine, and then I'll sign off for the day. That was excellent. But I also wanted to show you that I was able to put this blade guard on, which I showed you when I first unboxed it. So that's very handy. Now it's all nice and safe and secure. So just to recap, it's the Husqvarna 129R Brushcutter. It's got a little two-stroke engine. It comes with all sorts of different attachments that you can put on it. I'm going to pick up the saw attachment, which I'll be able to then use to go through more thick tea tree. And then obviously it's got the normal sort of strimmer cord attachment, and then the grass cutter attachment I was just using with great success. It was $520, which is about £260. So in the scheme of things, not massively expensive, and a very, very, very useful and worthy investment, so I'm discovering, so I don't regret buying it. The only downside that I'm aware of, because I did a lot of research before I bought this particular model, is that it apparently has quite a small fuel tank. So if you're working for extended periods of time, you have to have a handy supply of two-stroke fuel, because it does apparently chew through it. Yes, it's an excellent machine, and I'm so excited to have it, and it's a shame that I'm not going to be able to use it in the near future, because every day this week is booked up with very, very boring stuff that I can't get out of. But nevertheless, its time will come imminently. Welcome back. I've been having a lot of fun getting acquainted with my brush cutter, which is there. And I am now going to have a stab at clearing the undergrowth of this part of the garden here, which is the last part that I cleared manually with the bigger, strubbier stuff, and now I want to go through and slice the ground level stuff off. We'll see how that goes. Two things. I am kitted out this way, not because it's loud, it isn't, but because I found that it does, with quite a lot of violence and aggression, flick stuff up in your face, so hence the visor. And also, I currently still have the grass cutting blade on it, which replaced the cord, and I found they're both excellent. And whilst it does say that you can't really use this for woody material, I was trimming the grevillea garden yesterday and it cut through the tea tree regrowth beautifully. So I'm persevering with this for now because I actually find that this is better than the cord. I am still going to buy the saw blade attachment though for thicker stuff, but so far I am liking using this attachment. Frogs are back. You know, for all of this cacophony, I've actually seen one. Let's see if we can find one. Maybe it's like a frog. There's something coming to my left. It's almost like it's coming from underground. I've yet to tidy up the little piles of debris I've generated, but I think I will wait until we get the Brummie back, because it'll make that job a lot easier than carting it barrow load after barrow load. I think that's about where I'll leave it. In my zealousness, I did accidentally take out one or two plants that I had intended to leave, but that's by the by. I think it's looking much better. I'm not intending to take all of this out. It didn't look like this before the fire. It was a lot clearer, but it looks like this now. And I think what I'll just try to do is manage this new landscape rather than try to return it to the landscape it was before. I think that'll be easier for it and me. But I guess over time we'll start to maybe get it a bit back to how it looked before, just naturally. Anyway, I'm now going to turn my attention on this lovely early evening to a little track which runs along here in a little horseshoe. There's quite a lot of this tufty grass which has grown up on what I like to keep as an additional fire break just adjacent to the track. So we're heading off over there now, and I am heading off for the evening. There's every good chance the next time you see me I'll be in Melbourne. We're going there for the day. Will's catching up with a friend in a nearby town, and I am hitting the shops. I've got a potential trip to Brisbane that I'm getting more and more excited about. That's coming up in December for the opera, which isn't too far away now. So fingers crossed, all being well, barring bushfire disaster preventing us from leaving, that's where I'll be heading. So I've got one or two little bits and pieces I want to pick up explicitly for that trip, but also, you know, to have after that trip. So I might take you along there, or maybe you're sick of Melbourne. It does seem I go there quite a lot. And actually I'm going back in October to see Tim Minchin. But anyway, that's much further down the line. My immediate plan is that pesky grass over there.